In 2014, a janitor named Ronald Reed died in Vermont. He left behind an estate worth $8 million. He had not won the lottery, he had not inherited a fortune, he had worked his entire adult life mopping floors and pumping gas. He saved consistently, he invested in dividend-paying stocks, he lived below his means for decades, and he let compounding do its quiet, relentless, invisible work. $8 million from a janitor's income in a single lifetime. The same year, a hedge fund manager with an MBA from a top university filed for personal bankruptcy. He had managed hundreds of millions of dollars for other people. He knew every formula, every ratio, every metric in modern finance. He had simply never learned how to behave. Now here is the question that should stop you completely. There is a man right now who earns six figures and checks his bank account with the same anxiety as someone earning minimum wage. There is a woman who understands every financial principle perfectly. Index funds, compound interest, debt elimination, and has changed nothing about her actual financial behavior. Knowledge is not the problem runs deeper. It runs in the belief system, the set of invisible, inherited ideas about what money is, what it means to have it, whether it is safe to want it, and whether you personally deserve it. Today, through the story of two people who had everything required to build wealth and kept failing, until they found what was actually broken, we go inside the financial mind and change it. Subscribe and tell me in the comments, what was the first thing you were ever taught about money, and by whom? I read every one. Chapter 1. Riku and Kohei, two versions of the same problem. This is Riku, 29, a senior software engineer in Osaka. His salary is, by any measure, excellent for his age. His work is in demand. His bank balance embarrasses him, not because of gambling or dramatic debt. His money simply disappears into a life that looks comfortable and is financially empty. Premium coffee every morning. A gym membership he uses twice a month. Delivery food 4 evenings per week. The newest phone because his 18-month-old model felt slow. Clothes ordered at midnight when he cannot sleep. Each purchase is small. Each feels justified. Together they leave nothing, month after month after month. Riku's problem is behavioral. He knows what to do, he does not do it. And then there is Kohei. Kohei is 36, a senior manager at a financial services firm in Tokyo. He understands markets. He works in finance. He knows what a Roth IRA equivalent is. He has read the books. Every few months, Kohei has a period of financial clarity. He downloads a budgeting app. He creates a spreadsheet. He sets up an automatic investment. Within 6 to 8 weeks, something disrupts it. Stress, a large expense, a moment when checking his balances makes the effort feel futile. He cancels the automation. He tells himself he will restart when things are more stable. Things are never more stable. They never will be. Both men have a knowledge problem that is not a knowledge problem. Both have a belief problem they have never named. Chapter 2. What the Psychology of Money Reveals. Morgan Housel spent years studying why some people build wealth and others do not. His finding was not what anyone expected. Financial success is not a hard science, it is a soft skill. How you behave with money is more important than how much you know about it. Ronald Reed, the janitor, was not a sophisticated investor. He did not have a complex strategy. He had a behavioral one. He lived below his means. He saved consistently. He never withdrew his investments in a panic. He gave time its full power. The hedge fund manager who went bankrupt understood the theories Ronald Reed had never heard of, but he did not understand himself. He did not understand the behavioral patterns, the envy, the urgency, the inability to sit with discomfort, that ultimately made every smart strategy irrelevant. Here is the first great truth of money psychology. Envy destroys wealth. Capitalism generates two things at extraordinary scale: wealth and envy. The urge to surpass your neighbors, your peers, your former classmates. This urge can motivate, but it more often destroys. Riku's delivery food was not about hunger. It was about the relief of having one area of life feel effortless. His phone upgrade was not about speed. It was about being current. His purchases were emotional management dressed as consumption. Hounds tells the story of Bill, the doctor who earns $500,000 a year and feels rich, until he buys a vacation home next to Stan, who earns $10 million. Stan feels small compared to his billionaire friend. The billionaire feels modest next to Bezos. There is always a bigger fish. The comparison never ends, and chasing it destroys the thing you were already building. The prescription is both simple and genuinely difficult. Define what enough looks like for you, specifically in writing, and stop measuring yourself against anyone else's number. Chapter 3. The inherited script here is where Kohei's problem reveals itself. In his house growing up, money had been the subject of a specific kind of tension, not poverty. His family was comfortable, but money carried weight. Rich people were discussed with admiration mixed with resentment. Wanting more had a vague implication of ingratitude. Ambition, in the financial sense, required careful handling. Kohei absorbed all of this before he was 10 years old. Not through explicit instruction, through tone, through what made his parents uncomfortable, through what they praised and what they avoided. Napoleon Hill, after studying 500 of the wealthiest people in the world, identified this pattern with precision. Our belief system is based on our evaluation of something. If you re-evaluate a situation, your belief about that situation will change. The script that Kohei carried was not his. It was inherited. And inherited scripts run below the level of conscious decision. They generate the vague discomfort that makes him cancel the spreadsheet, the specific anxiety that makes him close the investment app, the feeling, not the thought, the feeling, that building wealth is somehow not appropriate for someone like him. These are not truths, they are scripts, and scripts can be rewritten. Housel makes the same point from a different angle. People come from wildly different money backgrounds. Those backgrounds create fundamentally different belief systems about what money is, what it means to have it, and whether they deserve to accumulate it. What seems obvious to one person, of course you invest, is emotionally threatening to another, not because of intelligence, because of a script they received as a child and never examined as an adult. Chapter 4. Pay the price and know you're enough. Hound's second major principle is about what wealth actually costs. Everything valuable has a price, not always in money, often in discomfort, patience, or the willingness to feel temporarily worse in order to arrive somewhere better. The stock market offers long-term returns that beat almost every other wealth-building option available to ordinary people. But the price of those returns is volatility. Your investments will drop 20%, sometimes 40%, occasionally more. Most people try to avoid paying this price. They pull their money out when the market drops, certain they are being clever, and then they miss the recovery entirely. If you invested in a broad market index over 20 years, but missed the 4 best-performing market days in that period, your returns dropped from 291% to 164%, 4 days. Missed because you tried to be clever, because the discomfort of watching the numbers fall was too much to sit with. Riku had never invested because he was afraid of losing money. He had never considered that money sitting in a savings account, earning 0.5% while inflation ran at 3 or 4, was losing purchasing power every single day. The choice was not between losing and not losing. It was between two kinds of loss, one visible, one invisible. He had been choosing invisible loss because invisible loss does not feel like a mistake in the moment. Housel's prescription: know you're enough, define it, write it, then pay the price to reach it without being diverted by comparison. Chapter 5. The gap between knowing and doing. Napoleon Hill's sharpest observation, the one that explains why knowledge alone never produces results, is this: no amount of reading or memorizing makes us successful. It is the understanding and application of wise thoughts that count. The distance between knowing a principle and enacting it in behavior, this distance is where mindset lives. This is what the belief system governs. Two people read the same finance book. One implements within a week. The other finds it interesting and continues exactly as before. The difference is not intelligence, not discipline in the conventional sense. It is the degree to which their identity is aligned with the behavior the book describes. The person who implements immediately already sees themselves as someone who makes these choices. The book confirms an existing identity. The person who reads and does not implement sees the principles as for someone else, someone more financially capable, more naturally suited. The book describes a version of themselves they do not yet believe they are. The shift required is not a strategy change. It is an identity change. From, I am someone who is bad with money and keeps trying to do better, to, I am someone who makes consistent, intelligent choices with money. The behavior follows the identity, not the other way around. An identity is not changed through affirmations or positive thinking. It is changed through evidence, small, consistent actions that provide real proof that the new identity is true. Chapter 6. The Override. How does the override actually work? For Riku, one specific decision. He stopped trying to feel motivated before beginning. He automated everything that mattered. A fixed monthly investment, small, automatic, irreversible, before he could rationalize against it. A separate emergency fund, automatic transfer every month, never counted as available to spend. He did not need to feel like an investor to start investing. He needed to invest until he felt like an investor. The evidence accumulated, the identity shifted, for Kohei, one specific inquiry. He wrote down, honestly, what money had meant in his household growing up. What was said, with words and without them, about people who had money, people who wanted it, what was appropriate to want. He examined each belief directly. He asked, is this actually mine? Did I choose it? Does it serve the life I want? Several beliefs did not survive the examination. They were not truths. They were the specific fears of a specific generation in a specific context that had no application to his adult life. He restarted the investment automation. He did not tell himself he would maintain it through willpower. He set it up and removed the decision, because willpower at the moment of decision is unreliable. Automation is not. 2 months later, he did not cancel it. 3 months, 6. The evidence was accumulating. He was becoming the person the system assumed he was. Chapter 7, The Transformation. 18 months after the book his mentor gave him, Riku's investment account was modest. His emergency fund covered 4 months. His income had not changed dramatically. What had changed was his relationship with the month. He no longer watched his balance anxiously in week 3. He no longer made small, nihilistic purchases because he had given up on the idea that the math would ever work for him. His colleague, the mentor, asked him what had finally shifted. I stopped waiting to feel ready, Riku said. I let the starting create the feeling. The mentor nodded. Ronald Read didn't feel like a millionaire for the first 30 years of investing. He just kept going. The feeling came with the evidence. Kohei, across the city, had a similar conversation with himself. He thought about his parents, about the kitchen table conversations, about the script he had carried for 36 years without knowing he was carrying it. They had given him what they had. He was adding what they had not had access to, not as rejection, as the next chapter of the same story. The first dollar invested changes something, not in the account, in the investor. Closing 5 truths the psychology of money reveals, and what to do with each. 1. Behavior matters more than intelligence. You do not need to be a financial expert. You need to be consistent, patient, and honest about your behavioral patterns. Start there. 2. Envy is the enemy of enough. Define what enough means for you, specifically, in writing, and stop measuring it by what the person next to you has. The comparison never ends. Choose your own finish line. 3. Pay the price. Every valuable thing costs something. The price of long-term investment returns is the discomfort of volatility. Pay it. Do not try to escape it. The people who escape it also escape the return. 4. Examine your inherited money beliefs. What did money mean in your house growing up? Write it honestly. Examine what you actually chose versus what was given to you. Replace what does not serve you with what does, not through affirmation, but through evidence. 5. Remove willpower from the equation. Automate the important decisions before you can unmake them. The system should run without requiring your consistent emotional energy to maintain. Ronald Read understood one thing above all others. Behavior, consistent over a long enough time, produces results that intelligence alone never can. Start behaving. The feeling follows. See you in the next one.